Welcome to 108 17th Street. We purchased this property in May 2019 from Mary Portman and was blown away by all of the welcome we received from our neighbors. We couldn't be more happy to be here in Ansley Park. This home is one of the reasons why. The home was originally built in 1912 by Mr. Edward and Fanny Lyle. They owned the home until 1919. The architect of the home was Philip Thurton Mayer, and he was well known at the time as he had come from Virginia and had built several other well-known properties in Atlanta, such as the Fox Theater, St. Luke's Episcopal Church, and the Capitol City Club. Mr. Lyle had known Mr. Mayer because they were both from Virginia. Mr. Lyle had went to Columbia where he got his degree in law. He practiced law and was also a member of the Senate in Virginia, and moved to Atlanta in the early 1900s to work for the Southern Bell Company. This house was commissioned for him and his wife and family. And as I said, they sold it shortly after the war ended, World War I ended, and moved up to Brookhaven. But who would buy it but the Episcopal Church? The Episcopal Church purchased the home in 1919 and owned it until 1976. During that time, there were 5 bishops that lived in this home with their families. And so it's been an important part of Atlanta and the fabric of our community for all those years. In 1976, it was bought by John and Mary Portman. They fully remodeled the house in the 1980s and reimagined it in a style that they were accustomed to. They had spent many years working in Asia and brought the Chinese style back to this house. It wasn't until 2019 that the house was refreshed again. Mary fortunately sold the property to us, and we had the opportunity to reimagine the house back as it might have been in the early 1920s. So we've fully gutted the house down to the studs, rebuilt everything from the ground back up on the interior, and fully restored the outside. The front of the home is as it existed back in 1912. Almost every single detail is original, as you'll see on the original photos of the house. Minus the witch that was here for our Halloween decor. But several of the things that we love about the front of the home is the beautiful hand carved limestone decals that were put on the front of the house. The architect of the home did several churches, Episcopal churches, and obviously it later became the home of the bishops of the Episcopal Church. So that may have been one of the reasons why they put that detail there. Along with the other limestone features of the house, really makes it a distinctive look that's lasted for over 100 years and hopefully will be here for the next. So these are the original 2 formal sitting rooms in the house. These are original rooms. However, we've had to fully update them with new trim and new finishes as it was completely gutted in the 1980s. However, we tried our best to make the space look as close to what a modern version of the 1920s home might look like. So directly across is our formal living and music room. And of course, out the front windows of these rooms is the most spectacular reason why we bought the house, and it's the view of Midtown Atlanta. Again, one of the great reasons of living in Ansley Park is the sense of community. And we have been active fans of the Ansley Diners Club. The dining room is set up for this Sunday's Ansley Diners Club event where we're having a Lebanese dinner, complete with a belly dancer. So we're excited to welcome our neighbors. But this is our dining room. It's the central part of the house. And during the 1980s, the dining room would be 10 feet below us. So this room would have been 20 feet tall, which was probably quite interesting to bring food up and down, but would have been quite dramatic. But we brought this back to what it was originally as constructed. So the kitchen of the home is one of the most important rooms of the house, and that's true in our home as well. The kitchen looks out to our beautiful pool deck and a space that we love to use and love to entertain on. And has an outdoor seating area where the screens can come down. And inside we have our service kitchen in the back, where the real work gets done. And as you can see, it is well used. We have 2 kids, a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, which is another great reason to live in Ansley Park. If you love family and community, this is the place to be. So this part of the house was an addition to the house. The breakfast room and family room were added to make the home more modern for modern use. But we tried to make the space feel like it was part of the original home. And outside, I'll show you one of the things that I'm most proud of. It's actually the chimney that's above here. That's an addition. So let's go look at it. So one of the things that we wanted to do was respect how the home was originally designed by the architect. One of the beautiful finishes on the house is the fireplace. You can see the top of the chimney has this beautiful stone detail. And so the architect, the current architect, went through a lot of effort to recreate that on the addition so that they would completely match. So on this side of the house, we have 2 fireplaces that perfectly match the existing fireplaces that were designed. Each of those took about 2 weeks to install. So there was a month of labor just in putting up those 2 stone details on the new addition of the house. As we were remodeling this house, we got educated on the history of brick. And I didn't know about all the different styles of bricklaying, but this particular style is called Flemished brick. And a Flemished brick style is when a brick is laid this way and then another brick is turned in. And you'll see this very common in homes that are built between 1910 and 1920. So that could be a marker of when a home was constructed if the house was built with this Flemish style, which was popular way back during the Renaissance as well. I believe it was back in the 1500s or so, but reimagined in the early 1900s. And when we did our renovation and addition, the home was finished in that same style. Another one of the great things about Ansley Park are all of our parks. And right behind us is another example of that, the kudzu, which is a jewel here. If you haven't been over behind 17th Street and Inman, we have a beautiful garden, really, in the back of our homes that are surrounded by over 30 neighbors. It's about 3 acres of property, and it's all forested, and as it has been for years, thanks to the hard work of the neighbors and chiefly Miss Jane Harmon, which we are very appreciative of. So again, it's something that we love using, and our kids play in it every day, and hope to see you here with your family or your dogs. Come enjoy the space.